Greetings to you all. My group and I will be doing a presentation based on the topic moral values. We will be stating some of the theories and opinions on cognitive and moral development in adults, and also we'll be stating some roles of parents, teachers, and organized religions in molding and shaping or instilling values within their children. We'll also be highlighting some of the strategies used by teachers in instilling values in the classrooms, and also how faith is integrated inside the classrooms. So moving on to our introduction. Our introduction reads, moral values are principles that guide or assist people in knowing the differences between right and wrong. I'm sure we all know what values are. Some examples of moral values are respect, honesty, integrity, responsibility, empathy, gratitude, forgiveness, patience, tolerance, and self-discipline. When we have these principles within ourselves, we are sure that these principles help and guide us in knowing the differences between right and wrong. Moving on, these values are shaped through a complex interplay of factors including culture, upbringing, religion, and personal experiences. We can say in culture, there are two ways in which values are integrated in culture. Is firstly through norms and traditions, and secondly through social environment. For norms and traditions, every culture has their own sets of norms and traditions that dictate what is acceptable and unacceptable. So every individual raised in a specific culture often adopts the values prevalent in that culture. So for social environment, interaction between peers, families, and community members within a particular cultural context influences one's values. So these cultural values are often taught through storytelling, rituals, and social expectations. For upbringing, two ways in which values are taught through upbringing is through family influence and education. For family influence, we all know that family play an important role or crucial role in shaping values. So parents and caregivers impart their beliefs and values to their children through direct teaching and modeling behaviors. For education, every schools and institutions also play a role in shaping values by promoting principles such as honesty, responsibility, and respect for others. For religion, the integration of faith of values in the religion are through moral and ethical teachings. We can say these values are taught through sermons and also through Sabbath schools in classes, in children. And the last one is personal experiences. Personal experiences, especially significant life events, positive experiences might strengthen certain values, while negative experiences can lead to re-evaluation and changes in values. So these moral values are like seeds within us, but they need the right environment to grow and develop. Through our life experiences and thinking about what is right, our moral values evolve, helping us to make better decisions and be better people. These values are shaped by both our life and our natural tendencies. As we grow and face different situations, we learn from our experiences and think about what is right and fair.
Theories and the opinions on cognitive and moral development is analyzed. Today we'll be looking at three theories. First of all is John Gazzi, second is Lev Vygotsky, and lastly is Jerome Bruno. Now we will look at some of the backgrounds. First of all is John Piaget. John Piaget was a Swiss psychologist known for his pioneering work in the field of developmental psychology. So what does John Piaget say about cognitive and motor development? First of all, Piaget conceptualizes motor development as a constructive process, whereby interplay of action and thoughts build upon moral concepts. Furthermore, Piaget was principally interested not in what children do, but in what they think. In other words, he was interested in children's moral reasoning. And secondly, is kids think differently. Kids think differently. Piaget's observation that kids actually think differently than adults helped usher in a new era of research on the mental development of children. So basically, Piaget is trying to say that the way children think is different from the way adults think. So let's go straight to Lev Vygotsky. So let's see about Lev Vygotsky's background. He was a Russian psychologist known for his social-cultural theory of development, which emphasized the role of social interactions and cultural influences in shaping cognitive and moral development. So what does Lev Vygotsky say about cognitive and moral development? First of all, social interactions enhance child development. The interactions with others significantly increase not only the quantity of information and the number of skills that child develops, but it also affects the development of higher order mental functions such as moral reasoning. Vygotsky argued that higher mental abilities will only develop through interaction with more advanced others. So basically, Lev Vygotsky is trying to say that children are able to learn from others and increase their skills and abilities by interacting with them. And secondly, is environment shapes children's thoughts. The environment in which a child grew up will influence how they think and what they think about. So environment has a big influence on a child's life. Either it will impact them positively or negatively. And let's see about Jerome Bruner. Jerome Bruner, according to Olsen, Jerome Bruner, a renowned psychologist and educator, made notable contribution to cognitive psychology and education while primarily known for cognitive development. He also developed a widely used social science curriculum in 1960s and 70s. However, his work on the relationship between cognitive and moral development is less extensive compared to theories like Kohlberg and Piaget. So let's see what does Jerome Bruner says about cognitive and moral development. First of all, an active representation. An active begins from the age of 0 to 1 years old. This mode involves recording action-based information or storage in our memory. Example, an infant recalls shaking a rattle by developing a muscular memory of a task. Infants and adults recall tasks via muscular memory. For instance, minding operating a lawn mower is much quicker and easier than a complex verbal explanation. And secondly is iconic representation. It begins from the age of 1 to 6 years old. This is the ability to store a mental picture in the mind's eye when learning a new topic. It can be helpful to use pictures and diagrams to support verbal explanation. And the third one is, and the last is symbolic representation. It begins from the age of 7 years and above. This more sophisticated mode is the last to develop and is more flexible than the previous two modes. Mostly via the medium of language, information is stored using codes and symbols. For example, dog is a symbolic representation of certain class of animals.
Exploring the vital roles of parents, organized religion, and school teachers in children's ethical growth. Firstly, the role of parents in children's ethical growth. Number 1, modeling behavior. Parents are powerful role models for their children. expectations guide children's behavior and help them to understand right from wrong. I'll repeat that again. Expectations guide children's behavior and to help them understand right from wrong, and encouraging them to make morally responsible choices as they grow and mature. So it is expectations for their children, as it will encourage the children to make responsible choices and wise decisions as they grow older. Thirdly, providing emotional support. Emotional support is crucial for children's ethical development. When parents create a supportive environment, children feel safe to discuss ethical dilemmas. Providing emotional support from home helps children make ethical decisions and build moral character. So in simple terms, providing emotional support, parents, it is very important for them to support their children during in their lowest times, so that the children can feel safe and feel safe sharing things to their parents, and to help them gain more trust in their parents. Secondly, the role of school teachers in children's ethical growth. Curriculum integration. Incorporate ethical lessons into the curriculum. Teach values through literature, history, and science. Show real-life ethical dilemmas in subjects. So for school teachers, it is very important for them to ensure that the students they learn moral lessons from their daily lessons, the lessons that they learn in school. And teachers should include Bible moral values into the curriculum, so that the students, the children can develop ethically. Secondly, promoting inclusivity. Create a welcoming classroom environment, foster respect for diversity and differences, encourage empathy and understanding among students. Teachers should make it their responsibility to teach with affection and love, so that the students, they feel a sense of belonging coming to school. So that whenever they go back home in the afternoon, in the morning, they'll drive them to come to school because they're happy of how the teacher is treating them. And yes, teachers should foster respect for the students, and that will help the students to make moral decisions. Lastly, the role of organized religion in children's ethical growth. Teaching moral codes. Organized religions provide clear moral guidelines and principles. Organized religions help children learn the difference between right and wrong, and it creates a framework for ethical decision making. So for teaching moral codes, we all know that in church, the religious leaders, they teach the students how to behave, how to incorporate values in their daily lives, and that may help them to make the right decisions daily. Encouraging compassion. Religious teachings often emphasize empathy and kindness. Children are encouraged to help others and show compassion. Acts of charity and kindness are integral to religious practice. So yes, in churches, the religious leaders, they ensure that the kids or the little children, they are taught the values from the Bible. They are taught stories from the Bible that has a problem and a solution, and that helps the students to differentiate what is right from wrong, and that will help them to make morally good decisions in the future. Okay, moving on to the strategies that we as teachers can adopt in transmitting values to Pacific primary school children. As you can see, we have created a simple model which includes some of primary school classrooms. So the first one is positive role modeling. For positive role modeling, we as teachers, we need to demonstrate respect, promote empathy, encourage kindness and compassion, display integrity and honesty, teach responsibilities, and etc. By consistently modeling positive behaviors and attitudes, they can create a classroom environment where these values are not just taught but also lived, leading to a more positive and respectful learning community. The second one, as you can see, is storytelling. Storytelling, we as teachers, we can relate stories to real life situations, try to identify the morals of the story and encourage students and encourage discussions after telling the stories. So by incorporating these elements into your storytelling, you can effectively instill values in your children and encourage positive behaviors and attitudes. So thirdly is classroom discussions. We as teachers, we will need to use real life examples, try to have students do role playing, also have critical thinking exercises, and encourage students to ownership. By incorporating these strategies in the classroom, discussions can be a form of fostering a sense of moral responsibility that will benefit them throughout their lives. The fourth one is classroom rules. Classroom rules. We need to set rules with expectations, model them to students, state the consequences, and also implement class rewards. Reward the class for collectively following the rules and displaying positive values. When integrating values into the classroom rules, remember that consistency, positive reinforcements, and leading by examples are key elements in this process. The fifth one is reflection activities. Fifth one is reflection activities. The green leaf. We need to have a self-reflection whereby we encourage students to reflect on their personal values and also create an activity or exercise that allows children to think. And the last one is cultural appreciation. We need to incorporate cultural appreciation into education, media, and community activities that can contribute to instilling these values in children. Try to teach them respect and help them learn about cultures and teach individuals to respect differences.
Strategies to integrate faith and values development into all primary school learning. So we have our model up here for the integration of faith in teaching in primary school. Our first strategy is incorporate moral things or moral values. Integrating faith into teaching often begins with incorporating moral and ethical values into the curriculum. This can be done by selecting literature, historical events, or scientific topics that align with the core principles of a particular faith. For example, if teaching about empathy, one can draw on religious texts or stories that emphasize compassion and kindness. By weaving these values into lessons, educators help students connect their faith to everyday life, nurturing character development and ethical decision making. So in other words, this is similar to the role of school teachers in children's ethical growth for curriculum integration. It's where teachers include Bible stories in the lessons so that students can learn some values and that it may help them to make morally wise decisions. Secondly, open discussion. discussions. Open and respectful discussions are crucial in integrating faith into education. Encouraging students to ask questions, share their beliefs, and engage in dialogues about faith-related topics promotes critical thinking and tolerance. Teachers should create a safe and inclusive classroom environment where students from diverse faith backgrounds can express their perspectives without fear of judgment. These discussions provide an opportunity for students to learn about their different faiths, appreciate diversity, and develop a deeper understanding of their own faith. So for this strategy, it requires the teachers to ensure that the students, they mingle with each other, they socialize with each other, so that they can learn each other's background and their faith background. And it can also help them learn new things about other faith, other religions.
The third one is service learning projects. We as teachers, we need to allow children to take part in community works and voluntary works, because this way they are building within themselves values like empathy, compassion, and social responsibility. The fourth one is ethics in critical thinking. Let's try to foster an environment where students feel free to explore their faith-based perspectives in critical thinking and ethical reasoning. This promotes a rich and So the fourth one is ethics in critical thinking. Let's try to foster an environment where students feel free to explore their faith-based perspectives in critical thinking and ethical reasoning. This promotes a rich and respectful learning for everyone involved. So encourage students to challenge their own beliefs and those of their peers. Invite guest speakers from various communities to share their perspectives on ethics and critical thinking.
The fifth strategy of integrating faith in the classroom is storytelling. Storytelling should integrate faith and learning to give teachers, community, help restore the image of God in the hearts of students, and to educate the students in an integrated fashion to the end that faith that touches every area of their thoughts and lives. Our life is a story, and the knowledge comes in the forms of stories. Integrating faith and learning through using storytelling enriches the life of children. The stories include themes that clarify the realities of life. And religions and spiritual people seek to tell their stories, religious and spiritual experience within the framework of a story. So basically, storytelling is a powerful way to integrate faith and learning and to restore the image of God in the heart of students. And lastly, is values integration in arts. Faith activities can help children develop a solid moral and spiritual foundation, qualities that are essential for their lifelong personal growth. They can also instill in kids a sense of community by interacting with others who share their beliefs and values, leading to lasting friendships. And building a strong sense of belief can help kids navigate tough situations by turning to prayer or meditation. Examples of some activities includes prayer hands activities, which children can make from their hands using colored papers, or they can create some prayer jugs which they can put their prayer request inside. And or they can do an activity of creating a shield of faith using papers and coloring them. And lastly, they can do an activity of a model of Jesus loves me. They can use some plants to represent the fruits of the Spirit.
Thank you. Before we conclude, we're going to be singing a song that goes with our topic. We hope you enjoy.
We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own life. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
In conclusion, instilling moral values in primary school students is a paramount endeavor that shapes their character and future as responsible individuals. So basically, moral values play a significant role in our lives in building our character. And by imparting essential virtues such as honesty, kindness, respect, empathy, we lay a strong foundation for their personal growth. So teaching moral values equips primary school students with vital life skills that extend far beyond textbooks. So as they progress in their educational journey, these values will serve as a guiding beacons, enabling them to navigate challenges with wisdom and compassion. A collective effort for educators, parents, and society at large in imparting these values ensure a brighter, more ethical future for generations to come. So overall, moral values play a very big influential part of our life, which helps children to become more responsible adults in the future, and mostly to be a beacon of light, beacon of hope to other people that is around. Thank you.